Hey there folks, welcome to this video, and here I'm going to be talking about the Bathurst 12 hours. Not going to be talking about the race too much. The race has finished a few hours ago with Bentley's number 7 car, prepared by M Sport, winning, which is quite fun for me, being a WRC fan. Instead I'm going to talk about the circuit, and partially because even though I'm not too much of a fan of watching endurance racing, because I can't really watch it in full a lot of the time. For example, Bathurst went on while I was asleep. I saw a lot of the videos of the crashes coming from Bathurst. I usually do every year. But when I was on Twitter, I saw Jimmy Broadbent's tweet, and I'll put it on the screen, saying, "I know the main appeal of Bathurst, for me included, is how unforgiving it is, but given all the massive crashes this weekend, do we think it's time to start talking about better runoff? I mean, is it even possible?" And this video is just largely going to be a response to that kind of tweet. Personally, I do think it's something that's possible. It would mean some reprofiling of the circuit, of course, but it is something that you could possibly argue is possible to do. Now, a lot of the crashes that were going on at Bathurst happened around the top of the circuit, so typically after Quarry, so between Quarry and not really after the Dipper, though there was the crash for Oliver Jarvis around the Chase. But I think around the Chase it showed how strong some of the barrier protections are. But a lot of the other ones showed that a lot of the barriers are still, say, tyre barriers. And then just above that, it's just grass. And what separates spectators from the track there is, in some cases, wooden fencing. And I don't really know if that's the best way to keep going. Because, I mean, I look at a lot of other circuits and I go, well, that's obviously very dangerous to have. I mean, I remember, I don't really watch supercars, but I remember seeing the crash in the support series, the GT86 support series, at Sandown last year. I thought, Christ, that's not the kind of crash you should be seeing so often. And I know there are all kinds of circuits, all kinds of series that have these kinds of problems. But the debate is usually, do we sacrifice tradition for safety? And my conclusion is typically you don't have to separate the two. I mean, you can check out my video from last year about Pocono. To see them still using catch fencing the way it is, and then repairing it by putting like some metal fence, like cable tied on there, I thought was at the very least tone deaf, at the very most reckless and inconsiderate of safety, basic safety. And yeah, they've been told, well, changes need to be made. I think you could do that with Bathurst. I think it would potentially take away from some of the spectacle of it. Because I'd be asking for more kind of protections in the barriers, and if somebody went over the top of the barriers, more protections for the spectators. And sure, that would mean that some of the spectators were taken further away from the action. And you'd have to figure out ways around that, like more screens and maybe tiered seating and stuff. But a lot of other circuits have managed to make it work. I mean, if you want to talk endurance, talk Le Mans. And the amount of changes that have happened at Le Mans over the years in the name of safety that have helped save lives. And not just for competitors, for spectators. And we still often see that as the pinnacle of endurance racing. So, what I'd like to say, to round off this video, is it is possible to do more runoff. It is possible to make it safer for the spectators. And I hope if you're somebody who would disagree with these changes, you've watched this whole video and not immediately gone into the comment section and said this person's tried to ruin the tradition of the racing. Because, for me, motorsport can be dangerous, but it doesn't mean it should be. And even if you see these spectacular crashes and people walk away from completely unscathed, the first question we should be asking is, how do we stop any kind of danger like that happening again in that place? Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, especially if you don't agree with me, make sure to hit the like button, because that really helps boost the metrics and get my profile out there. And then if you don't agree with me, let me know why in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this and you want to stick around, hit the subscribe button. You'll be notified if you hit the bell notification icon of future uploads and streams. And I hope to see you around soon. So, bye-bye for now.